Beautiful morning down in the Swan. Nice and early. I think I got out here around 6 a.m. It was quite a windy day, but I found a nice sheltered spot. I was out here chasing flatfish with the Micromeat from Vexed. It's like a micro version of some of their larger lures. It's got a nice flashy little tail of assist hooks, which is pretty good to use around these sort of areas where it's quite weedy. This area doesn't have like the string weed everywhere, but there's lots of little plants and whatnot, so having little assist hooks makes it easy to pull it through. Also, all the weight is in the head of the lure as well, so you can cast this little 5-gram thing a mile. I'm using my usual flatty setup. I've got the 8'6" light rod just to get those extra long casts. First time using this lure, so I'm just using nice and slow retrieve with a few little hops. Wasn't long till I was on. I think this was like the 3rd or 4th cast, which always gives you a lot of confidence, especially early in the morning. No monster, but it was nice to be on the board. It's pretty low tide where I am, so I'm walking out to the edge of the plants here and just flick into a little drop off. I'm then pulling the lure in between little channels of the plants as well. So this one hit it just on a little sandy patch in between 2 walls of the plants. Anywhere you think the flathead's going to ambush your lure. Again, I've got the flathead on the surface of the water here. It was a nice flat area with no weeds at all. I would let it swim down to the bottom, no worries at all. But here I'm pulling it over the top so it doesn't dislodge those assist hooks. Another one on the board. So where I'm fishing here, there's a nice long sandy patch along the side of the weed. You'll see the line here. If you're trying to work out what areas to cast, when it's nice and clear like this, one tip you can do is watch where the little bait fish and the mullet are. So on a day like today, there's mullet schools everywhere and little schools of bait fish. If you watch them carefully, they don't tend to just swim any direction here and there, or they may do at times. They often have little paths that they take through the seaweed or along the bank. So watch which way they're swimming, what sort of channels they're taking through, and that can give you a little bit of direction of where to cast. As the sun started to peek over the bank, you could at times see the flathead following in the lure. This one here was just giving it little nips and just didn't quite commit. When there's one, there's going to be more, and also flathead will, unless you really spook them, you'll be able to cast the same lure at them again. Really fun fishing really clear water like this. Here, I just cast just in front of me because I can see the fish. Slowly present it in his face. He's thinking about it. Here it is. It's where those good pair of sunnies come in handy. Beautiful. Nice healthy fish for the table. This one was pinned nicely with the assist hooks. I cut just behind the gills to bleed it well. Using lures like this is a little bit similar to those blades or whatnot with the little assist hooks. You just got to make sure the drag is set right for the smaller hooks and ensure your little assist hooks are sharp. So you can either sharpen them yourself or replace them regularly. These ones are big enough where if you've got a little tool you'll be able to put a little bit of point back on them. With this type of lure, it's good for what I would call a canvassing lure as well, where when you're walking along between spots and you want something that you can cast out as far as you can and you can slowly hop it back, what I'll do is I'll do it at an angle to the way that I'm walking as well, so that I don't spook the fish. It just allows you to fish in between moving from spot to spot. If you do it with a lure that's got trebles and whatnot, you're going to get a little bit more foul hooked here and there. And also a lure like this will cover more ground. With the fish earlier in the session, I was targeting specific areas, so I'd walk really slowly, try not to lift my feet up too much and cause too much noise. Here I'm literally just stomping along in between spots, so I want to cast out and target fish which are furthest away from me so that I'm not spooking them as I'm walking along. Nice hook up. Felt a little bit different. That familiar flat feeling. And I saw the dinner plate coming towards me. For whatever reason this season, I think I've dropped about 4 or 5 of these. So I was a little bit nervous. Didn't know whether to net it or try and bank it. After that average attempt at netting a fish, I thought I'd better take it to shore. Beautiful flounder. going to make a tasty dinner. Decent catch of flatties too. For the flounder, I just gutted, scaled, took out the egg sac. I'm then going to score it, so I put some butter, garlic on top, salt and pepper. I'll put that in the oven for about 15 minutes uncovered. You want to keep it uncovered. Flounder can sometimes get a bit mushy if you cover it up. To make it a little bit even, less mushy and more crispy, I'll then put it under the grill section or the broiler of the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes until all that burnt butter sort of bubbles up as well. You then should just be able to pull the flesh straight away from the bones. Delicious. Thanks for watching. For more flathead, estuary or land-based fishing, please subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section.